Welcome back to the O-Gauge Evolution Podcast. This is episode number 5. This is a post-York episode. Typically I have the trusty Uncle Salty here with me, and last week we had Sid, and we have a special guest here today. We have my girlfriend Rebecca joining us. Before York, we had the idea that we should maybe do a podcast from a woman's perspective. So, Rebecca, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Feeling a little better. We were a little under the weather when we first got back from York, but I'm doing a little better now.
That's true. We were a little under the weather, so that's the reason for the delay in this episode. I know a lot of the York fever has died off, but better late than never. And it's just the way we do things around here. So, what was your initial impressions of the York train show?
I liked it. It was kind of what I was expecting, like any type of show to be like, right? Like a lot of the same stuff and multiple buildings of it. But I really liked what was different about it is the way you guys all kind of were a community and you came together, and even just after you bought stuff, hung out in the parking lot and talked to each other about what you bought. So I thought that part was a little... I wasn't expecting to see that, and I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah, it was cool that we have the little community there that some people say that I created. I don't think that's a thing, but we had a lot of guys from the Discord as well as the YouTube channel hanging out, and that was cool to see. Was it too many train people for you to be around?
No, I don't think it was too many train people to be around, and I think like when you go into it and you just hear that you're gonna go hang out with a bunch of trained people, I kind of had the idea that it was going to be a lot of older people, and that it was, I don't know, I wasn't expecting what I actually walked into, which is kind of like a group of people that you just hang out with on an everyday basis. It was nice in the way that you guys, I guess, connect like on the Discord, or when you're streaming or whatever, you guys just pick up kind of where you left off. You just all met together and hung out and talked like you've seen each other yesterday. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, that was good. It is kind of like a extended group of friends from all over the country that just kind of gather in one spot there in York, PA. It is a cool thing. Now, I was a little bit nervous, taking you to a train show, because obviously I've never taken a girlfriend to a train show, especially one of that magnitude. Did you get trained out? Well, like, were you just tired of looking at trains by the time Saturday came?
I was not like trained out. So forgive me because I don't remember the name of that town that we went through that has like the train museum.
Strasbourg?
Yeah, Strasbourg. So when we drove through Strasbourg, I was like, I wish we had a few more days, because not necessarily did I want to buy any more trains or walk around just the booths, but I wanted to take in more of the area and see the train museum and check out the little diners in Strasbourg and do stuff in that area. And even if we would have got there a day earlier just to hang out at the club, would have been fun. So I wasn't necessarily trained out. Did I need to spend any more days walking through the booths? Not necessarily, but hanging out with like the group or just checking out the museum in Strasbourg, I definitely could have handled a few more days of that kind of train activity.
So what you're saying is next year we should plan some extra days in to go to the museum, and maybe I should actually plan to go to Strasbourg and ride the train at Strasbourg. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, so spend less money at the train show and more time doing actual activities besides buying trains.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, that's a win. That's a win, boys. We can count that as a win. No, so like as I said, I was a little nervous, bringing my girlfriend to the train show. Because, we're already train guys. We already have a stigma that we're kind of weird, right? But the first day, I felt like you may have been a little bit nervous to be at the train show. Is that accurate?
I would say that's accurate. I am kind of a nervous person anyway, and a little reserved, and I don't like to go out of my bubble too much. But so it took me a little bit, but everyone was super welcoming, and I feel like I talked to quite a few people, and it takes me a little while and a couple drinks to get out of my bubble, but I felt like I did that.
I agree. I feel like by the time we left the club there Thursday night, you had a couple drinks, and I feel like you were a little bit more chatty, a little bit more at ease. And then I feel like by the time we got to, but before we even got to the club, we went to Vince's, and I got the nickel plate passenger cars, and then I got the Vision Hudson at a ridiculous deal. I do feel like you celebrated that little victory that I pulled off with me there on the price of the Hudson. So I feel like you kind of got into the spirit of the train show pretty early.
Yeah, I feel like I was kind of getting into the spirit of it, and it was kind of nice that we were at Vince's booth, and you guys were kind of just talking about Florida, and you were talking about supporting, the train people from our area, and I felt like he gave you some really good deals. And you had set out a price at what you wanted to get that Hudson at, and you weren't going to buy it unless it got to that price, and you really didn't even have to haggle. You just talked to Vince for a little bit, and you were like, "What can you do?" And I feel like he hit your price right away, and I was like, "Score," And I knew when he told you the price, you were going to get that.
Yeah, I agree. It always helps to find a common ground. And mine and Vince's case, it was both being residents of Florida, and he did. He really hit that price right off the rip. We didn't have to go back and forth. But I thought it was really cool to have you there, and like you celebrated the victory with me instead of questioning why I was spending X amount of money on another train that looks like the rest of my black steam engine. So thanks for that. That was very kind of you to not want to go back and forth with me on that. What booths really stood out to you in the Orange Hall?
I think the trains booth, only because we knew a couple people there, and I had went to the trains grand opening, so I felt like I was looking to go to that one, right? So I was kind of excited to see their booth and see everyone. And so that was kind of nice. There was that booth right across from them that had all the Atlas cars. I felt like that was a pretty good booth. And I felt like we spent a lot of time there just looking at all the Woodside Reefers. It was fun going over to Jay's at Third Rail. I felt like there was always a good group of people over there. Not necessarily was like the best booth or setup, but it was always like a fun crowd over at the Third Rail booth.
Yeah, so like with Jay's, obviously we were in an aisle there, and looking towards next October when Jay is there. Jay will have a booth next year instead of they won't have him at tables because he registered late. So next year Jay will have a proper booth, and I'm looking forward to that because I just have a feeling that Jay is he's gonna show out next year because I just feel like that's in Jay's nature. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how his booth turns out next year.
I liked all the sparkly tankers and cars over at Stu's booth, and there's a lot of like cool one-of-a-kind things that you didn't see at other booths at his, and which, not being a train person, I know it's probably not authentic, right? But it was nice to see. It was fun, I guess, for someone who's not super into like authentic trains and into train collecting. It was fun to see different just ideas and designs that someone just created on cars like that.
Because I've seen the sparkle cars, that Stu's had. I think he had them last year when I was there, and it's. I feel like it's a nice segue. So like in your case, it was a nice segue to get you kind of into trains a little bit because it's not prototypical like a B&O boxcar or whatever, right? So if you can find something that you like that happens to go on tracks, I feel like that was a win for me, and it was a good segue to get you into maybe looking at getting some trains of your own to add to our collection. So that was super cool that we got you the sparkle paint shift car, I guess they call it, the Lionel tank car. But yeah, he does have a lot of unique custom runs, like whether it's the USS California, USS Tennessee, or the Hellcat, or the his Lowy design Vision Line GG1. Stu does a lot of really cool designs on his custom runs, so it's always fun to be at Stu's booth, and plus it's Stu. Like everybody loves Stu. I mean, I feel like you met Stu back at the train's grand opening, and I feel like Stu was very very open to making you feel comfortable, and that's just, I feel like that's Stu's personality. He's everybody's friend. So after we left Stu's booth there, was there any other any other booths that really stood out to you? And it doesn't have to be the Orange Hall. It could be any hall. Because I know on Thursday when we got there late. We ran around with some friends, and then we did a little bit of shopping. So we didn't get to see a whole lot of stuff other than the Orange Hall on Thursday afternoon. But, before we get to Friday, we went to the Susquehanna Club there Thursday night. What did you think of the club and the club atmosphere?
First of all, I thought the building it was in was really cool. I know you told me it was in an old church, and it's legit in an old church, the stained glass windows and everything. I thought the building is pretty awesome just on its own, right? And then you go in and the layout is amazing. I wasn't expecting it to be, one, that big, two, that interactive the way they have it, so that it's both sides kind of divided, both sides, people on every side. So I thought that was really cool. And the layout itself is just, even from someone who's not like into trains or a train collector, it's so detailed, and they did such a good job. And then that skyline backlit on the other side, that's backlit, it's just gorgeous. And when they dimmed the lights a little, that was super cool. Yeah. And then I didn't even know there's like a HO layout upstairs, and I go up there, and that one is just as nice as the one downstairs, and they're not even done with it. So I thought that was really cool. And then I got to hear it was haunted, so that added just a little more, made it a little better.
Yeah, I didn't know that the church was haunted until I guess it was Saturday or whatever day it was we were getting ready to leave, and they were talking to me about it. But apparently it's super haunted. It's part of the ghost tour there in Columbia, PA, so that is cool. But yeah, going back to the club, as I've said on my stream plus my York video, the club is super cool. The guys in the club, everybody from Don to Chris, John, Travis, Tristan, and Charlie. If I left your name out of that list, sorry, Alex Merrill, he's in the club. But all the guys in the club are super super cool guys, and there's some super talented guys in that club that do the detail work on that layout and make all that happen. Plus, they supply the food and the drinks for everybody. So the club's a good time. And I did feel like you started to fit in a little bit there. You started talking to John and his girlfriend. I seen you conversating with several of those kind of people like John and then maybe Western Maryland Jake or somebody like that from time to time. But that was really cool to see you kind of like start to fit into our little friend group, and everybody seems super super welcoming to you, and didn't make you feel like you're out of place because you're a girl at a train event. So
yeah, it is really nice. And like John's girlfriend Ariana was there, so I wasn't like the only newbie, right, for the girlfriends in the train club. So that was nice to like have her there with me. So I didn't feel too out of place, and they were super friendly, and everyone made me feel welcome, and I didn't feel out of place, even though, half the time I'm just listening and trying to learn as much as I can when I don't really know a lot about trains.
So that is true. Like, I get it. Like, you're in a environment with a bunch of people that obviously are super into this hobby because, we like to just go all the way to Pennsylvania and spend X amount of money on toys. So I get that's probably a little bit weird to be around a bunch of people that are super into it, as you being a new person to the hobby, and you're not really in the hobby, just your boyfriend's in the hobby. So that happens, right? But no, I thought it was a good time there Thursday night, and I thought you did I thought you fit in pretty good, to be honest with you. Everybody seemed to take to you. So, going into Friday, we got up and we had the little meet and greet there in the Orange Hall, and what did you take away from the halls other than the Orange Hall on Friday? I know you made some purchases there in the Blue Hall there Friday afternoon. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So I did like going through the other halls, and probably I liked it a little, maybe even a little more than going just through the Orange Hall, right? Like, I felt like the Orange Hall was a different kind of atmosphere, right? Like, you kind of ran into all your friends there, and everybody kind of hung out there. But I felt like the smaller halls was where you'd find like that rare gem, or you got to see some of the older train dealers and some of the classic stuff, right? Like, I know I'm not super into trains. I did have a cast iron train that got kind of handed down to me. It was my great-grandfather's, and I've had it this whole time, and that kind of stuff, I like it. I like seeing it. I like hearing the history behind it. So I did make some purchases. I got a couple wind-up trains. I felt like I got a really good deal, and the guys were super friendly when they were selling them to me, and I like kind of haggling on prices, just be like, what can I get these for? And it's kind of interesting to know that that was probably someone's favorite toy, and they were probably super excited to get it, and it just didn't get thrown away. Now I have it, and and maybe someday it'll sit on my kids' mantle and I can hand it down to them, and it's just a piece of that train legacy that gets passed on from somebody in the early 1900s that's playing on it in their kitchen floor, right? So I appreciate that kind of nostalgia to it. When little kids and even adults, when toy trains started becoming big, I don't know like the whole history behind it, but I know that it was really exciting for any little kid who got a toy train. So I think that part of it I feel like that's kind of special. Nobody threw these things away. They're handed down, and they live to see another day, and that's a piece of history that we can pass down to our kids as well. So,
yeah, that's a solid answer. That's a well thought out answer, because to me, like, these trains there's trains to me to a certain level. Like, I have a little bit deeper thing about them too, but that's a solid answer. I like that.
Well, thank you.
And like when you stopped and you looked at those wind up trains, it shocked me that you took an interest into the wind up trains, because everybody that listens to this that knows me or watches my YouTube channel knows I have a collection of modern trains. But I thought that was really cool to take you there, not being a train person. You took this interest into these old toy trains that I let's not even say maybe, that I for sure would probably just walk by and been like, that's whatever I'm looking for. I'm looking for a Lionel Legacy, whatever, So that was super cool to see that. And then, like, I'm not going to lie, I feel like you might be a little bit better negotiator than me. Like, I feel like you stepped up and every time you negotiated some prices on stuff you wanted to buy, I feel like you do a little better at that than me. So maybe if we have to negotiate again in the future, you might be the lead negotiator there, because I feel like you're just doing a better job than me. So
I don't know if I can negotiate for things that you want. I have to negotiate for things that I want. But I can give it a shot, but I feel like I do a little better job. Like, I know what I want, and this is the price I want to pay for it, and that's what I'm going to get it for.
Yeah. I could see that, and like I told you when we were at the show, like, I had no I had no idea that you were going to want to buy anything at the show, like maybe a T-shirt or something that said who knows what. There's not like York 2025 shirts, whatever. But I felt like you'd buy something like
York 2025 shirts. I totally would have bought a York 2025 shirt.
So should I take this up next year and I should design the York 2025 shirts?
You should.
Should we do that?
Yeah, legit. We should have, or at least a Joker's Train shirt that says Joker's Train on the front, then York 2026 on the back, and then I don't know, the dates and the color of the halls, something. We could just make it look like a Rockstar T-shirt with the York 2025, the date, and put the halls on there.
You heard it here first, boys. We're doing I guess we're gonna do York year shirts. Like, you go to Bike Week 2026 next year. It'd be the same kind of deal. So that we can do that. We can definitely do that. But as we were wandering through the blue and the silver, we came across some other items that you were interested in. Do you want to talk about that? Because that's another one that completely shocked me.
Sure. So I came across a set of cast iron, a whole train set with the little engine and the little cars behind it, and a little caboose, which, FYI, in case no one knows, the caboose is the favorite part of the train for me. And it took back a long time to convince me that there's not cabooses on trains anymore. And unfortunately, he is right. So I sat and watched. Anytime I got to a train, I held out my phone. I'm like, I'm going to prove him wrong. There's going to be a caboose on this train. And sure as shit, it would drive by. Or drive by? Is that what we call trains on rails?
Trains don't. You don't drive trains. You run trains.
Okay, the train would run by, and of course, no caboose. So yes, I'm sad that my favorite part of the train is no longer on the train. But so I seen this cast iron set of trains. It's colorful, right? It's got the little black engine, and the cars are like green and red and blue, and then the little caboose. And there was a price on it, and I was like, one, these are going to be heavy. Two, I don't want to pay the price that's on it. But three, if they're still available on our last day here, I'll see what I can do with it. So we did. We waited to the last day, and I went up to the guy, and he did give me the price that I wanted. And good thing they don't weigh carry-ons, because we wrapped those cast iron cars up and threw them in my suitcase.
Yeah, that was a good time, and that's another thing. Like, you know, I have a cast iron train at my dad's house, and again, something I had zero thought process that you would be interested in was a, you know, 100-pound cast iron train or whatever they weigh. It did make putting the carry-on in the overhead storage compartment on the plane a little bit more fun. But it was even more fun taking it out when we landed. That was even better. Just kind of like a sack, just like a sack of concrete. It was ridiculous. But no, that was super cool. And you know, like I just really enjoyed like taking you there and like walking around with you. And you know, once I got out of this mindset that I was laser focused on whatever, you know, next neat high-end steam engine I wanted to add to the collection. And then, you know, I slowed down and started paying attention to things that you wanted to look at. It was a much different experience for me at York this year, because the first time I've ever taken somebody to York that's not a train person per se. So that was super cool. And yeah, sorry it took me a little bit of time there to slow down and get out of my own way.
It kind of did. It kind of took me a few minutes of like, babe, I want to look at a few things too.
Yeah, I get that, you know, because like when I'm there, like I was there the past 2 Yorks by myself, and you know I can just, you know, if I want to run to Vince's, or I want to run to, you know, Trains or Grzbowski's or wherever I'm trying to go, I can just run real quick, and I don't stop and look at things that I don't see on my my list of gets. So that was cool to have a different mindset and slow down and take in a few more things.
So what hall was it where they had that one really detailed layout?
That was the Whitehall.
Yeah, I really like that layout. That was, and it's
talking
amazing that they set it up.
Are you talking about the Raritan layout that had the really super detailed, they had the really long military train?
Yeah. I thought that I was amazed to see a layout that detailed that traveled like that. That's just there. They set up a detailed layout for a 3-day event. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was extremely happy to see that layout as well. I've seen it on other YouTube channels at different train shows. So I had seen it on video, but it was super cool to see in person. Those guys do a fantastic job, especially like you said, for having a traveling layout. And you know, since I know what this term is, they do have their own turntable on their traveling layout, which was quite impressive when I saw that. So yeah, I did take a few minutes to take that layout in and check it out. Unfortunately for us, you know, there was a lot of other people like gathered around it, which is the first time I've been at a York show where they had a modular layout that had so much attention on it. So that was cool to see.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome. And it was cute. There was a father and son, and you could just see the little boy running around the layout with his dad's cell phone, recording everything, and then stopping the recording so he could take a picture and then go back to recording. So it was nice, right, to see his enthusiasm. And, you know, for you guys, right, that's the future of trains. So to see someone get so much excitement out of it, that was really cool.
Yeah, it is cool when you see the kids into the trains. And like I've always said, you know, it's super easy to get kids into trains. It's hard to get parents to want to foot the bill for the trains. So it's a catch-22, I guess. But yeah, we did the Whitehall there, and I picked up a steam engine there. You know, I had to carry that steam engine around like a baby, because I did get the TMCC EM1 there from Dave. So that was cool. But yeah, the layout was good. There was a couple other nice layouts there. We saw some in the Purple Hall had some, and then we saw the Choo Choo Barn truck with the glass window with the layout in it.
Yeah, that was kind of neat. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. That's got to make the traveling layout way easier. You just drive it in and park.
Yeah, that is cool.
But yeah, it was still pretty detailed, and they had that lit up pretty nice. I bet that'd be awesome to see just parked outside at night with all the lights turned on. Yeah. That'd be pretty awesome too.
That would be cool. Yeah, it was. That's the first. I think it was there last year. I didn't see it, or I didn't go look at it up close. So it's the first time I actually got to look at it up close. So, you know, thanks for making me look at things I wouldn't typically look at. So we did not take in the YouTube live panel of the panel of the YouTubers, and we didn't take in the Bluetooth deal that Sid and Johnny put on. But
Blue Nami.
yeah, what did I call it? The Bluetooth?
You
Yeah,
did,
the
you
Blue
did.
Nami, the Blue Nami deal. We did not take that in. We kept wandering the halls, and we picked up more freight cars. And I feel like you kind of got in on hunting Woodside Reefers with me there a little bit Friday.
I did get, and you know, I probably don't pick them out like the way you pick them out. I probably do it a little more girly, like I like what this one says, or I like the colors on it, or this one looks really neat. I don't pay so much attention to the car numbers or how rare it is or stuff like that. It's more of a girly detailed thing. But yeah, I do get excited when we're picking stuff like that out, and I'm like, oh, this will look cool on the layout.
Yeah,
But
yeah. We did get you a Woodside Reefer. That you know that you are familiar with, the Rainier beer. Or did I say that wrong?
I think you said it right.
Rainier? Yeah, okay.
I think some people that don't. I think there's people out there that call it Rainier, but we'll go with Rainier.
Yeah, we'll go with Rainier. We did get that one. That's a 36-foot reefer. You know, it's not a 40-foot Woodside Reefer like most of these are on the layout right now. So that was a cool car to add to the collection. We did pick up another engine or two along the way, amongst our travels. You know, we went to well, before we get into the engines, we'll finish up Friday. Friday we went to that nice little place we ate at there. The little
little burger place.
Yeah, a little burger joint. And it's in Strasbourg, and I cannot remember the name of it, but that was a great time. A nice little setting, good atmosphere in there.
Yeah, the food was good. The waiter was friendly. Beer was good. Yeah, it's a good time.
And they were super busy. That's the third time I've been there, and that's the busiest I've ever seen them. But then after that, we went over to my friend Chris Montagna's house. You may know him as Chris's Trains and Things. What did you think of Chris's layout?
You know, what I liked most about Chris's layout is he has it set up so he can have a great layout, and it's a beautiful layout, but he can have a social gathering there as well. Like, he's got the little corner with the couches and the TV, and you know, a big area next to his layout for people to hang out. I feel like that's a lot of some things you don't see. Like, we fill up the whole area with the layout, and then there's not a lot of room for people to hang out and gather. So I thought that was pretty awesome, and he has a really nice space for that. And you know, even if he's just hanging out running trains, and I know this wasn't part of the event, but when you have a layout like that, if he's hanging out doing stuff with trains, his kids can be down there and his wife can be down there watching TV, and it can still be a family area and a family event while you're still hanging out with your trains. You know, I feel like it was pretty awesome to see.
I agree with that, but are you saying I'm on the other side of that, and I just took up the whole space for the layout and didn't make a place to make it social?
Well, I feel like you don't have. Right, there isn't a place here for you to make it social, and I do feel like sometimes when you're doing your trains and I'm doing my things, there is a lot of distance, and I feel like that's not the end goal for this. Like, I would, you know, dream layout idea, I'd like to have like a bar in there and a TV and a sofa and a place to hang out and a place to run trains. And so I feel like, you know, Chris has the goal, right? He has an area to hang out and a place to run trains and some place for his friends to hang out. Like, I feel like that's the goal. I feel like the future of trains should be not just one person doing a detailed layout, hanging out by themselves, but like a group of friends hanging out, running trains together. Like, I think that's like the best part of I've seen for your train community. I think that's pretty awesome, and I feel like that should be the goal, not just to sit by yourself and run trains, but to have a space for you and your friends can all run trains together, right? And I thought it was pretty cool. Everybody brought their trains, and they're like, I'm going to put this on Chris's layout. I'm going to put this on Chris's layout. So, yeah, that was fun to watch and see everybody just feel that open and comfortable around each other. And, yeah, it's nice that Chris has that set up so that provides that place for them to do it. And not that people didn't run trains at the club, too. It's just a different kind of more relaxed, set back, have a few beers and hang out with your friends. I mean, we didn't have as many beers, I heard, as some people had. I heard we were there's a lot of people there having fun till 2:30 in the morning, hanging out by the fire. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome for a train club situation, you know?
Yeah, we got out there kind of early. I know it wasn't anything against Chris. You know, Chris is a good friend of mine. But I promised some guys, that watch me on YouTube and are members of the Discord that I would come back to the club Friday night and hang out with them. And I didn't want to let the boys down, so I opted to go back to the club, and I felt like it was a good time at the club. It wasn't quite as packed as it was Thursday. It was a much more laid back environment at the club. And the other thing with the club, we on Thursday night we had a pile of people jammed in that club, which is great for the club, and I don't think we get that many people in Chris's basement, so unfortunately. But no, Chris's layout is beautiful. It's very nice of him to open his house to his friends and let us all come over and just take over his layout for a few hours. His layout videos extremely well. Every time I'm there, I run my new engines on there because, let's be real, every time I'm at York, we're buying new engines. But he lets me run my engines on the layout there, so that was super cool to get some videos of the new Vision Hudson and my TMCC EM1 from Lionel on Chris's layout. So yeah, that was good. And then we went to the club and hung out for a little bit there with the boys. And then I feel like we got back to the hotel a decent hour.
I feel like we did. And I feel like we didn't want to stay one place longer than the other. Just so much to do and not a lot of time to do it, right? Like I wanted, it was new for me, so I wanted to do all the things. Yeah. And I feel like you as well wanted to just make sure that you were, what's the word I'm looking for, just making sure that you weren't not so much letting people down, but making sure that you were talking to everyone you said you were going to talk to and meeting up with the people you said you were going to meet up with. And I really feel like we probably needed at least we should have got there like one more day earlier, and we would have had a little more time to do all the things that you wanted to do, and me as a new person, right, wanted to see. There was a lot going on, and we not a lot of time to do it in.
Yeah, we had a very busy 3 days. I feel like we ran a lot during those 3 days, and we tried to be as many places as we possibly could, but obviously you can only be one place at a time. So that closed out Friday, and then Saturday we went to the show there, and you got your cast iron train, your static train. And we went around all the booths, said bye to the trains group there, Cindy and Jonathan, and went seen Jay, Landon, all the boys, that we know there. And that was good. Obviously, Stu is included in that. Let me not forget Stu. But yeah, that was good. We stopped by the show there, and I think I bought a few more freight cars on Saturday.
Did? I think like
6?
Oh, yeah, 3 from one booth and 3 from another. Oh, yeah, I think you got 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6, whatever it was. We got some more freight cars there, and we got smoke fluid.
Oh yeah, the 3 smoke fluids. I thought I lost, but I didn't last. We got them.
Yeah, we got the smoke fluids. They made it to Florida, and then after that, we went to the place I'm pretty excited I finally got to go to. This is probably like my 6th York or something like that, I think. We went to Round the Clock Diner with John, Ariana, and Sam Gable. That was good. I was super impressed with the Round the Clock Diner. I've never been there. I've heard about it for far longer than I've been going to York train shows on the OGR forum or whatever. I like the food. I like it. I thought it was pretty good. I know the local people in Pennsylvania say it's not good, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty decent. What do you think?
No, I thought the food was good. They must do well. Every time that we drove by, it was packed. So when we said we were going to go, I was like, oh, please, God. But no, we got in right away. We got our food right away. We had a good lunch and good company. It was a nice lunch. I enjoyed it.
It was good. And then after that, we went back to the club there for a little bit, and we kind of went to like a trunk sale from a friend of ours. And he was selling some engines, He had some MTH product, a couple Lionel engines in there, and he brought me and Rebecca and a couple of the friends from the friend group out there. I think we had John, we had Sam, and we had Chris Rude. I feel like he's kind of more of a Pennsy guy. He kind of lives closer there than the rest of us do. But yeah, we went out to our buddy's car, and we won't mention our contact. We won't do that, but. He had some RS11s in the trunk there, and he had some. I think Sam got a Louisville and Nashville, and John got a Main Central, and I think Chris got a Lionel Brass Hybrid Early Challenger for a smoking deal. Maybe we should have got that one, but I wasn't gonna buy anything. And then my buddy said he had 3 Southern Pacific RS11s, and I said I just wanted to buy one, and he said no. And you said
I didn't want to split him up either. That's what I said. He had a really good deal on him. I think I felt like they should stay together, and I just made the decision there that I was just going to buy him. So it was a good price. And when ever again am I going to say that some guy from a old abandoned church called us out to some back alley to grab secret trains out of his trunk? No one's gonna believe that story, right? I had to buy something. So yeah, I bought the 3 engines, and we didn't even get to see him. We bought them, and then we left. What did we even do?
we left and went to Travis's house, but
Oh yeah.
go ahead and finish your story about your engines.
No. I was excited. I wanted to see him, but we had to go to Travis's house, which that was a fun time too. We got to see Travis's workstation and all the cool things that he's doing with the Blue Nami and the sound cars and the lights that he puts in it. His workstation is pretty awesome, and just to see some of the stuff that he does and how he thinks it out, and how he doesn't just do it just to do it. He does it to improve it and make it the best he can make it. Like when he was talking about the sound cars, like he made your sound car, and then he's like, oh shit, I got a better way to do this. Send me your sound. It's just cool to see the way he thinks and how all the things that he's doing. That was super awesome to go there and see that.
Yeah, and then I got talked into getting another engine. I got the BNSF diecast ES44 from Travis for another ridiculous deal. Saturday just seemed to be the day of ridiculous deals. So, Travis, I do appreciate you making that deal for me. Super excited to have another diecast engine. So, Travis from he's the owner of Moody Locomotive Works. Does phenomenal custom work. He's a friend of mine. Go check out Travis. And
if anyone's listening to this and they know why it's called Blue Nami, I've heard, like, all weekend long we heard Blue Nami. And I'm like, who came up with that, and why is it called Blue Nami? I'm sure it has something to do with Bluetooth, but I want to know. So if you know, let me know.
I think it's a DCC decoder or something of that nature, they call it. And one of their boards, and that's for the host scale people. One of their boards is called a Tsunami board, I think. And I think because it's Bluetooth, it's a Bluetooth Tsunami board. I think is how it gets its name. But I'm sure if I'm wrong, somebody will quickly correct me. And I could be talking out of the side of my head, so don't take that to the bank. No. So we got the diecast ES44 there. Then we went back to the train club, to the Susquehanna Club there, and we got to looking at these 3 MTH engines that somebody decided to purchase, and we quickly noticed that one was a U25B.
Yes, and you noticed it, and then you're like, oh, this isn't what we got. I need to go find so-and-so to tell them this isn't what we got, and you took off, and I was like, just wait, what if it's better? What if it's something I like better? And then I've never, because unboxing for you guys is like a big thing. Like, you slowly unbox it, and then you open it up, and you pull it out nicely, and there's a lot of steps to unboxing that a girl who isn't into trains that just wants to rip the present open and see what's inside, right? So you had left, and I was like, crap, I really want to open this. So I kind of looked around and like, I'm going for it. So I opened it, and it was beautiful.
It was the Bicentennial Southern Pacific paint scheme on the U25B. That engine, so I actually thought that engine came out recently. That engine was released in 2018, but it was brand new. And then the other 2 engines were actually Southern Pacific Blood Nose RS11s. If you've seen my York Hall video, all 3 of those engines are included in there. Or I also had I did a reel on Instagram and Facebook, and a short on YouTube with all 3 of those engines triple-headed if you would like to see them. But yeah, you did a great job. You bought 3 beautiful engines. I'm a little jealous.
Well, and now I got to buy cars to go behind it, I feel like. So
I feel like it's not gonna be so much you buying cars as you're gonna be like, hey, can you get these cars to go behind my engines? And I'll be like, sure, we'll do that. So we got that taken care of. We were running those, and then my friend Mike and his wife Jen, aka the Evil Dwarf. If you guys have been watching my streams for any amount of time, you've heard that term, and it's not mean. Jen is an evil dwarf, but no. Mike bought a J3A Lionel Legacy Hudson. It was a Mr. Muffin's custom run, and I think he bought it. It was in the box. It was just supposed to be a brand new J3A. He bought it and took it out of the box, and lo and behold, it had been weathered. I think Harry Heike weathered it, and I don't think Mike nor Jen were too excited about that weathered Hudson. And I said, "Hey, man, you don't want that thing. You can just let me know, but you gotta let me recoup from York." And me and him worked a deal out to where that weathered Hudson is sitting on the tracks right now on the layout. So I thought we did pretty good purchase wise. We've succeeded my normal average, but since there was two of us, it was okay that we went past 5 engines,
right.
and we only went past it by 2 because I didn't buy the Plymouth Switcher, so we can't count that as a purchase. So I feel like we did okay.
No, I feel like we did okay, and I feel like you got pretty good deals on everything. I feel like we did good, and we had a good time, and that's part of it. Getting good deals, hanging out with good people, and having a good time. I have nothing bad to say about York, really.
Yeah, I feel like that's the recipe for a great York. Having a good time, and I think everybody that goes to York, most of my friends included, spend more money than we want to. I mean, if anybody recalls, you watched my stream, I was going to buy 3 boxcars. I seriously lied. I threw that out the window.
I'm pretty sure you've lied every York since I've known you, so I'm
Wow.
just going to
You're
leave
just gonna
that
put me
there.
out like that?
I'm 100% going to put
You hear that? You hear that, boys? This is how this is how it's going down right now. But yeah, I think I just lied to myself. Last night I was on Discord and I told the boys I wasn't going to buy any engines at Spring York, and they all laughed at me out loud.
Yeah, I feel like that's true.
So, before we get off here, the real question remains. Are you going to go back to York again?
Yes, I'm 100% going to go back to York again. I hope that we allow ourselves a couple more days. There's, like I said, in that town that starts with an S that I don't... Strasbourg. I don't know why I want to call it something else. I really do, like Shipshawana or something.
Shipshawana. Wow.
But I do want to go back. I want us to have a little more time, see a little more things, do a little more things, and hang, an extra day to hang out with people. Yeah, I definitely want to go back. I probably won't make it to the Spring York, but for sure the fall.
Spring York, okay. Spring York, okay.
Shut up. But yeah, definitely the fall York. I would. I mean, if I could make it to both, I would. But for sure, fall York, I'll be there.
So maybe more guys will listen to this podcast, and maybe that might encourage their wives or girlfriends to come to the York Train Show. I think that would be cool to get some more women involved in the hobby. Like I feel like it's a good thing. So, and apparently now you have a collection of trains in my collection. So, I guess we have a collection of trains now.
I know. I'm looking for more trunk sales and back alley train deals. I'm excited for it. Bring it on.
Yeah, the prices are good when you catch a trunk sale. But yeah, I absolutely I had a blast with you. I'm super excited that you wanted to come to York. I thought that was super cool. When you first said it, I was kind of saying bullshit, but bullshit. But
yeah, I think that you really didn't think I was gonna go, even down to the last minute. I don't think you thought I was actually gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause it's not most people's girlfriends or whatever the case is don't attend train shows. They would rather not. But I feel like you had a good time, and yeah, super excited that you went. That was cool.
Cool drinks and cool people. I'm in.
That's the Wisconsin coming out.
True. That might be true.
All right, so we are going to end this here. I've just figured, I didn't actually figure. We figured that this would be a cool idea to do for a podcast where she could come on the podcast and kind of give her thoughts of York, because I know a lot of people have asked me what you thought of York since we've been back, whether it be on Discord or the stream or wherever the case may be. But so yeah, now they got it straight out of your mouth, and they can't say that I'm lying. So thanks for
that. You're not lying about that. Wow. They can still say you're lying about other things, like how many engines you're gonna buy when you're at York, or anywhere that there's trains for sale.
Well, my current situation says my wallet says we won't be buying any trains in the foreseeable future, but no, it was a blast having you at York with me. I look forward to it next year, maybe the spring if I can talk you into that, but for sure I look forward to next fall. And yeah, it's a good point. Maybe plan a couple more days in, because the fall show next year is going to be on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Maybe we'll try to just show up on Wednesday or Thursday and have a couple days. Because I would like to have a couple days to just, take you to the Railroad Museum or I'd like to go to Strasburg and ride a train. No, I'm not buying any Strasburg engine, boys. You can get off of that train right now. But, just to hang out with the guys at the club and, go do some stuff with some of those guys. And there's some open houses that I'd like to take you to see some beautiful layouts. But, yeah, super excited for next year's York, both of them, because I will be attending the spring show one way or the other. So, yeah. You ready to get off here? You good?
I'm good. I think we said it all.
I think you did. I think you got it all out there, So, that's it for this episode, boys. My name's Zach with Joker's Trains. You can find me on the social medias and on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. It's all Joker's Trains on all of them. Just there you go. Search Joker's Trains in the Google machine, and you will find me. But I appreciate you guys tuning in for episode 5 of the O-Gauge Evolution podcast, and we'll be back shortly for episode 6. Until then, I'm gonna holler at y'all. See you.